Restore the ecosystem. It's your turn to give it back. Ecosystem hugely contributes to the welfare of human beings by providing a range of complex benefits besides food and pure drinkable water. Economically, wealth of humans comes from a healthy ecosystem because it gives us many marketable natural resources such as timber and other profitable materials. It also gives humans recreational and aesthetic pleasure and spiritual benefits. In a more significant way, ecosystem is the climate regulator which controls natural disasters and existence of diseases. Aware of its importance, due to prevalent human necessities, environmental mistreatment leads to imbalanced ecosystem which causes a variety of implications. Here, I would like to narrow to the most common that occur in our society, which are the effects from suburban and urban development. Suburbs and urban development causes the increased traffic congestion and air pollution. Urban sprawl triggers the increasing use of vehicles and more frequent commutes, which emit greenhouse gases that sustain air quality degradation in urban areas. This directly causes serious implications for public, wildlife, and ecosystem health. The second one would be the increase in water consumption. Imbalanced ecosystems affect the variability of rainfall patterns, which leads to reduced water table. Water has been used quite extensively in suburbs for watering lawns and gardens. According to WaterSense, average American family uses 320 gallons of water per day, and 30% of it for outdoor purposes, which is a lot for everyday watering. The last one would be the increased risk damage from flood and water pollution. Enforced infrastructure on floodplains has increased vulnerability to flood because wetlands were dried and flood-absorbing sponge is absent. Also, contamination of inorganic materials driven by floods into runoffs damage the aquatic ecosystems. According to Natural Resource Defense Council, 40% of surveyed rivers, lakes, estuaries across the nation is affected by the runoff pollution. So, what are potential effects on humans? Contribution of air pollution to the atmosphere in warming of the globe is projected to increase by 3.6 degrees of Fahrenheit in the 21st century. In a broader level, small island nation might have to watch ahead since the sea level rise is complemented. Estimated 20 inches will be added according to IPCC report. Air pollution also causes some health issues. Carbon monoxide causes visual impairment, reduced work capacity, reduced manual dexterity, learning capacity, and difficulty in performing complex tasks. Ozones, on the other hand, damages lung tissues, worsen asthma and other respiratory diseases, and also cause coughing, choking, and stinging eyes. According to EPA, nitrates compound found in fertilizers is 60% found in water near agricultural areas and urban areas. It is harmful to infants particularly because nitrates bring less oxygen to brain and potentially cause brain damage and death. Besides creating direct disturbances such as damaging materials, in low-income countries, floods leads to diarrhea, which result 27% of victims during Bangladesh flood in 1988. There are also some infections from contaminated water caused from floods such as leptospirosis and zoonotic bacterial disease which infected through skin contact with water, damp soil, vegetation, and mud. So, what can we do to restore our ecosystem and live healthier? Through the national level, EPA can strengthen the existing law, such as Clean Air Act, and collaboratively work with policymakers in order to create more policies to address each issue in a more efficient way. Define growth boundaries such as parks and one space protection to give more chance for our ecosystem's resilience. Imposing tax on pollutant makers so that they will be more careful with their emissions. Encourage businesses to reach people rather than people do the other way so that the use of cars will be decreased and carbon emission lowered. Provide variety of public transportations and conduct free carbon days which all vehicles should not be used and everyone can just bicycle or walk. Regulate and limit water consumption for sustainability and for the sake of aquatic flora and fauna. Employ effective irrigation methods so that the consumption of water can be controlled. Point selected land for construction to avoid development in floodplains. For implementation efficiency, the advocacy should also apply to private sectors and support them to conduct more research and create more incentives to accelerate problem solving. Private sectors also have better reach out to mobilize laws and manner of sustainable development in communities. Individually, we need to hold a value that we are temporary inhabitants and we are responsible for the future's sake of our children. What I will do as an individual is to live sustainably by consuming sufficient amount of water, by using them for only important purposes, choosing public transportation, cycling or walking rather than use my private transportation vehicles, not disposing hazardous material in water to reduce health risks and sustain aquatic ecosystem, selective land for building my house and to avoid future environmental issues such as flooding, and reforestation to diversify the ecosystem and supports its resilience. I believe you can do this.